Hello, guys. Welcome back to welcome back to Christianity Reloaded. So today we're gonna be looking at difficult passages in the Bible, and without wasting much time, we're gonna dive into it. We're starting with Leviticus 20:10 to 12. Let me let me bring in the screen, the verse on the screen, and we go straight to it. As we wait, let's play some music. Let's play some Latin music as I'm bringing those verses. We're gonna talk about the difficult passages in the Bible. It is really difficult, isn't it? So let's start with Leviticus. Let me. So let me start with Leviticus, and if person can join us, in this stream, and he can join and ask questions, or he would either he ask question, or we can ask him question, or if we have something, we can give him the link to come and say something. You get me? So we're gonna start by looking at Leviticus 20, chapter 20, verse 10 to 12. We're using New Living Translation. If a man commits adultery, neighbor neighbor's wife, both the man and the woman have committed adultery must be put to death. If a man violates his father by having one of his father's wives, both the man and the woman must be put to death, for they are guilty of capital offense. If a man have sex with his daughter-in-law, both put to death, they have committed a perverse act and they are guilty of capital offense. And when you look at these verses on the surface, when you look at these Bible verses on the surface, you will think that you will think twice. Why should Christianity have something to do with this kind of people because of their sexual perversion? You have to remember the time these people live in, and put your shoes in those times when people behave much like animal. There's not much different between how the animals behave then than how because there's no civilization. What people does this time around, that go to farm, come back, or sing songs. There's not much social stuff going on then, so you have to put yourself in their shoes. And this law, you can't find anywhere in the Bible where the Bibles say where how this law were followed. Whereas they did the same, they actually unalive people that they found in adultery or even stoned them. You can't find it anywhere in the when this law was applied. So when you're reading this, something you have to put that in perspective. And the stuff I'm gonna say again is that I'm gonna use you know my experience in Africa as an example. Or in Africa, I don't want to mention their name. In olden days, to unalive twins. If someone give birth to twins, they're gonna do? They will unalive. If a woman give birth to twins, they will unalive one of them and leave one. And when you look at what they're doing, then it was pure ignorance. But for them to even think about unaliving someone because they think that they are wondering why is people this is abnormal for two people to come. They are used to having one at a go. And imagine those twins they are unalived, many are alive. Is when the missionaries came to Africa and they look at what they're doing, say, wow, this is terrible, this is evil. And it's equally evil because the only way this can come, the only place this can come from is from evil one. Can come from any other means except the evil ones that will instigate people to even think about life in that way. Like, what I'm seeing to is supposed to be one. And these missionaries, they don't just come and, petting them on the back and say, this is not, this is wrong and evil. They were able to call them and even punish anyone doing it for them to finally stop it. Uh, if had it been the missionary didn't come, do you think these people might consider it be a way of life? And if God decided to punish them or wipe them out, evil out, do you gonna blame God that God is unjust God? He wiped them out for this kind of evil stuff that they were doing then. Ignorance, because there was no law to scare them. But now, stuff like that anymore. It stopped. Christianity put an end to it. When you read some passages like this in the Bible, you have to read it about why this is written then. And when you look at it, when you look at this time, when you look at this Old Testament unaliving people because they commit adultery, the Old Testament never use. They always use somebody, wife. They never say that even two people commit, fornication, they should be unalive. Two single people, they never. The Old Testament never said that. It's attached to somebody's properties. It's like you are stealing his property. You get what I'm saying? Is this is how this law came in? They are taking it as this they are stealing. You shouldn't be doing that, and they put it to from doing this because people need to be punished when they do stuff like that. They have not. If someone finds somewhere in the Bible where it said about they should this law have been applied, I would like to see the verses because I haven't found these verses. You know what I mean? And one thing is that the Muslims, when they look at this, they will say, "Oh, we is not this. There is violence as well in the Old Testament, and they like to do that. But Christians, we don't. Moses was not a Christian. This is the one that we look up to, not Moses, not David, not the Testament prophets. We look at Christ, Jesus Christ. That's why when I happened to watch the debate that Sam Shamoun did with the Muslims, with the Jedites, and these Muslims, they claim that Jesus was a Muslims. And when this man was saying that stuff like this commandment like this was commanded by Jesus because Jesus was the one giving this commandment in the Old Testament. But they forget that they say that Jesus is a Christian because they look at the New Testament, they cannot find any fault with Jesus. They cannot find anything that Jesus said go and unalive people or even go and do anything wrong to people. Because always say, pray for your enemies and do good to them. Not only just pray, do good to them. and they can't find this kind of commandment in Islam. But we're not talking about Islam, some reference, you know what I mean? I think I'm gonna talk about that debate they had with Sam Shaman. I have a lot of. So let's look at the Deuteronomy 22, chapter 22, verse 22, and we go from there. We continue from there. So as we are looking into it, let me play some music again as I'm getting into those verses. So let's look at Deuteronomy 22, chapter 22, verse 22 to 24. If a man is discovered committing adultery, both he and the woman must die. In this way, you will purge evil of such. We will purge Israel of such evil. Suppose a virgin who is engaged to be married, and he has sexual intercourse with her. If this happens, you must take both of them to the gate of the town and stone them to death. The woman is guilty because this man must die because he violated another man's wife. In this way, you see, is this adultery stuff, this sexual stuff in these verses is always about somebody's engaged or somebody married. See, that's how we're gonna understand this context. He's not talking about two young people that have sex together. If we happen, no, nothing like killing any of them, but that none of them are married because when you in in a Catholic understanding about marriage, husband and wife, it's like if you're going to somebody's wife, it's like you're messing up with the person's property. You know what I mean? That's why they are making this, they're passing this law then so that people, when they look at this, they will not do it. It's just to scare them from doing it. And one good thing about stuff like this is that you can't find all these difficult passages in the Old Testament. You cannot find a place where God said, "One didn't believe in me. If any nation, if you any Gentiles or unbelievers in me, unalive the person," just like we found in Islam. Islam will unalive their people them in their fake. Find it with you can find it with the Christian, even the Old Testament, the Jewish understanding of Old Testament. You can find something like that. There's something, the commandments like that, to unalive people because of their belief. Now, and when you look at you need to look at the content as well. Why this is, the content about somebody is engaged, somebody is married. You know what I mean? And it's not like. It's unlike Islam as well because it's punishing both man and woman. It doesn't spare the man and just punish the woman. You have to be both. And remember the time when these people are close to animals when they behave like animals. So their mind, the human beings' mind have not fully developed like what we have now in civilization. And remember, there was nothing like the prison is not there yet. We don't have prison. Some people unalive someone else. What are you gonna do? There's no prison to put the person and rehabilitate the person. The only thing he's gonna do is pass a death sentence on the person, and that person will be taken care of. And death sentence is not bad. It's not bad. It's not bad at all. Some people deserve to have this death penalty on them. There's some evils that people commit. I think they deserve death penalty. This is justice as well, because if you don't, if they don't have that death penalty, there's no justice for their victims. You know what I mean? And God is a just judge. That's why there is hellfire. Because people now, this time around, they think that hellfire doesn't exist. But if hellfire doesn't exist, God is not just. Because how can somebody do some evil and go scot free? And what is the purpose of doing good? If we, if some people that did evil will still share in the glory of God, that people that did evil, it's not gonna be possible. You get what I'm saying? People that did evil, they demand the justice demand that they be punished. So if somebody is thinking that God have right to punish people anyway because He's just, if He doesn't punish people, He is not just anymore. That's why we capital punishment, even though the church have said that capital punishment is inadmissible. I think Pope Francis said that is inadmissible, but is inadmissible doesn't mean that is something wrong. It's not, because some people, this might sound harsh, some people, because people just doesn't just think that it's a merciful God. God need to be merciful and not to punish the evildoers and reward them. No, God is a just judge. He's a just God. You need to punish the evildoers, punish them badly, and give them punishment they deserve, not the one they deserve. I'm not saying give them extra, but the one they deserve. Because if God doesn't do justice to this stuff like that, these people that are committing evil, people are not gonna say is a just God. You get me? So let's play some music again, and I think I will. I don't know why. I don't know why I cannot. Or my internet is not strong. I cannot put on the link from StreamYard. So these difficult places in the Bible is there. It's not like we're gonna say it's not part of the Bible. It is the part of the Bible, but we have to look, into the content of it. We don't just pick and choose and look at it. Even though the commandment, this kind of commandment, is done away with. Unlike those pagan Islams, they cannot. They say they are Allah's, their pagan gods, Allah's words are eternal. Like it's gonna be there. If they see that, they will go and apply it. But Christians apply this stuff like this. We don't do it. It's not in our It's not. It's not in our. It's not our. We don't do something like that. We people doing this these days. They don't get capital punishment, but God will punish people that sins. But we shouldn't give them capital punishment. So this binding to Christians, but even though it's not binding to us, we have to explain it to us. No, because sometimes they will use this kind of stuff to, and that's not good. If you use stuff like that, take it out of content and discredit the Bible. The Bible, Jesus never instructed anyone to do any harm to anybody. I'm challenging anyone. He even said that we should pray for our enemies and do good to them, not only pray for them. And that's what we live by. We don't Old Testament commands. So if you are basing the Bible based on this command, or Christian faith, big mistake. Thank you for watching. Subscribe if you come across the video, and if you're Christian or Muslim, if you want, you can send me a comment section, and we can talk. We can go live and we talk about any subject you want. Peace. Let's end the stream here.